Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining this EBSCO Learning demonstration of LearningExpress resources for homework help and homeschool support for the Idaho Commission for Libraries. My name is Shayna, and I am a senior customer training specialist with EBSCO. I live in the New York area. I've got a background in education, but I've been working in education technology for a number of years, and I support our EBSCO clients in North America. So, May is National Homeschool Month. So, today we're going to celebrate the ways that EBSCO Learning supports your growing community of homeschoolers, as well as traditional classroom curricula. We do have an update to the Learning Express library homepage. We provided a refresh with some improvements in access and navigation. So I'll cover those things first, and then we're going to dive into the academic skills and test prep resources for your K through 12 uh, students. Well, really grades 4 through 12. We have a few learning centers that we'll touch on today, including the grades 4 to 8 educators learning center, the Learning Center for High School Students, College Admissions Test Preparation, and the High School Equivalency Center. And throughout those 4 centers, we'll demonstrate key resource types, including our practice tests, tutorials, microlessons, eBooks, videos, and flashcards, covering the most important subjects, including STEM, ELA, and social studies. I'll also show you where you can access promotional materials and support, uh, whether you are in product on the Learning Express platform or at our support site, which is EBSCO Connect. The objectives are that by the end of this session, you'll be aware of the wealth of resources to support homeschooling and traditional classroom curricula. You'll know how to access these resources at lily.org. You'll know how to direct educators and students to our key resources. You'll understand test functionality, score reports, and the My Center repository of saved work. And you will have everything you need to get the word out to increase visibility and ultimately usage of this wonderful platform. So let me get started with a few other slides just talking about the homepage refresh that happened last month for Learning Express library. We provided a primarily cosmetic update of the landing page to be more visually appealing and engaging for your end users. We have grouped the learning centers into meaningful buckets of content for quicker access to relevant resources for your end users. We've also improved the search box. It now supports natural language search using AI and, of course, keyword searching as well. What hasn't changed? Everything else. So you don't have to worry about changes to registration or logging in. The organization of the Learning Center homepages, subcategories, and categories, test tutorial functionality, none of that has changed. The My Center dashboard is exactly the same, and so are any direct links that you may have to learning centers on your library's website or your A to Z listing. Those will remain unchanged as well. And your authentication token URL, which is a unique identifier for your subscription, remains the same. So it really is a cosmetic update to the landing page and the organization of content. So with that, I'm going to dive into my live demonstration. I'm going to start actually at lili.org, Lili.org, to show on this landing page under most popular databases, you do have access to Learning Express. Clicking there will bring you to the database access page where you'll need to authenticate. I have already entered this information, which will then provide access to your custom link to Learning Express. And so if you have not visited us in maybe 6 weeks, I believe you will now see a refreshed home screen. It still has all of the most important features. It's just more of a vertical organization of our content. So here we've got this featured image, there's a little welcome message, and then we've grouped our content into main buckets. So there's a skill building and professional development bucket containing access to the Adult Core Skills Learning Center and popular software skills. In the Career Development and Job Preparation Center, we've got your Career Preparation Center. And in Academic Skills and Test Prep, which is where we're going to be spending the majority of our time today, we have access to the High School Equivalency Center, College Admissions Test Preparation, grades 4 to 8 educator resources, high school students, and college students. Last but not least, our Spanish language resources with access to the Recursos para Hispanohablantes Learning Center, which is a complement to the Adult Core Skills Learning Center, just delivered in Spanish for those who prefer to read in their native language. So it's more of a vertical organization, just grouping content into meaningful buckets. Nothing else has changed. So if you are interested in resources, for instance, for college admissions, clicking this learning center in this bucket will still give you access to the main categories of college admissions preparation resources. And then clicking anywhere here, we'll click Prepare for Your ACT, for instance. So we'll take you to the landing page for the College Admissions Test Preparation Center. This can exist as a direct link here for your end users. So if you would like to highlight the College Admissions Test Preparation Center as a separate link, you can do so. And that will bring you here. And since I had already clicked Prepare for Your ACT, that is exposed to show the subcategories of content for ACT prep. And then you have access to SAT, AP, PSAT, and TOEFL, IBT, and IELTS prep, as well as college admissions essay writing. So beyond the landing page, everything else is unchanged. To get back to the home page, you can click the home link in the upper left corner, or you can navigate to another center with the center's drop down. Let me go ahead and click back home. So for the few of you in the audience today, I'm wondering if anyone is brand new to this resource, please let me know in the chat. I imagine we've had our subscription with Idaho Commission for Libraries for a number of years. So I'm not sure if any of you are new to using this platform. If you are, I'd like to know. Oh, Scott's new. So great. So you're going to learn a lot today. I actually came on board with EBSCO with the acquisition of LearningExpress. So my time dates back to, with LearningExpress dates back to many years, almost 20 years now. So I've got a long history with this platform. So if you have any questions, if anything doesn't make too much sense to you, please just let me know. If I can't answer it, I have a team behind me that is here to support you. All right. So I'm going to give you a definition, Scott, of what we're looking at. I do like to always start out with a definition of what this is and why it's important for you to know about it. So LearningExpress Library is what I call the interactive learning platform that provides the most comprehensive selection of career and academic resources for basic skills mastery, for academic success, job preparation, and career advancement. All of our content you'll find probably, I think, approaching 2,000, if not more, resources hidden behind each of these centers. So it's like an onion. Once you start clicking in, you'll see how expansive our content is. So we organize our content into these main buckets and centers for organizational purposes. Now, you can navigate through the platform. As I had mentioned, I'll just click another one. For instance, maybe we're interested in high school equivalency and we're going to maybe peruse the GED and Spanish resources here. If I were to click anywhere here, it would bring me to the actual resource itself, whether it be a test or an ebook, a tutorial, a video. This is where you're you're required to log in to access the resource. So you can see our content, the titles and the descriptions of every resource, but when you want to interact with it, then you'll need to sign in or register to begin. Just wanted to demonstrate that you can browse our platform. You can also utilize our search box on the landing page here in the upper right corner where it says, what do you want to learn today? And this is another improvement to the platform. We used to have a pretty rudimentary search box that only searched by keyword as it appears in the description or the title of a resource, but now this search box supports natural language searching, so you can enter your query as a phrase or a question, which approximates how students these days are used to interacting with technology. So you can ask a question like, how do I study for the SAT? I'll just enter that and you'll see that there are some suggestions that are presented, but if I execute my search, it will bring me to search results. It's going to take my query, interpret what I am looking for, and provide relevant resources. And we can see that the relevant resources are broken down by the main resource types: tests, tutorials, videos, articles, flashcards, and so on this search results page. I still haven't logged in, so we can see, for instance, I can take or access a resource which talks about how to take the new digital SAT. If I'm interested in that, I'll click sign in or register to begin. So you can always either on the home page scroll through the buckets of content, click into a center to see the resources, or utilize our search box. What I encourage as best practice is, instead of being stopped at that registration option once you have found a resource, just log in first. There is a sign in register link in the top blue navigation, which you can click sign in to sign in as a returning user. Or if you are a new user, you can click the register link. Here, it will bring you to the new user registration page where you will complete the required fields, including a first name, email, password, and clicking register. If you have a user who would prefer to create an account without their email address, there is a little hyperlink here that gives you an option to register without an email. It changes that registration page to this, where you can create your own username, provide a password, and then use the security question, select one, and provide a secret answer. So those are two options for registering. I'm a returning user, so I'm going to click the login screen to return, and let me just copy and paste my credentials here to move things along quicker. And I'll go ahead and click login. All right, so I'm logged in. Now, when I log in as a returning user, it's going to bring me to my center first. And that is where, as a user, all of my stored work would be accessible. So any tests I've taken, any tutorials or micro lessons or eBooks or videos would be stored on these tiles of content. Um, we could also download my center contents. So if I wanted to, for instance, as a student, if I was interacting with a number of resources that were assigned to me by my homeschool instructor or my teacher, and that teacher wanted to see my progress, one way I could share that information with my teacher would be to download my center into a CSV file, and that will download all resources by resource type. It will include the resource name and any scores achieved. But to go back to the home page, we'll go ahead and click home here in the upper uh, left corner. And so now that I have logged in, we'll see our username instead of the sign in register link in the top navigation, and placing my cursor over that name gives me access to my center. So if I wanted to go back to my repository of saved work, I can go there. I can access my user settings, and I can also log out from here. Also, for administrators, for teachers, for anyone who is utilizing this platform on a regular basis, once you have logged in, now every user is a user. There are no separate logins for administrators, teachers, and students. You're just a user. So everyone will be able to see this What's New link, and this is great for you as instructors, as librarians, to keep up to date with the latest uh, additions to our platform. So if you haven't visited us in a while, we do quarterly content updates, and we make them visible here from a logged in state on the What's New link. You have to be logged in because this is a function of your subscription. So it will only show you what is new for your subscription to LearningExpress. We'll click What's New, and I'll just show you that we have a number of new resources. Ooh, let's see. I know that they're in the process. We just had a product update yesterday, so they may be currently, let me just refresh this and see if this is helpful. They may be actually updating the What's New link. Oh, there we go. So yes, they haven't posted it yet. So I believe within the next few days, the latest update should be posted. So we are still seeing the January 2025 update. I'm going to click in. I believe you have computer skills. We'll click the second link here, and we can see that back in January, we added a number of new flashcards to the High School Equivalency Center, a lot of mathematics flashcards with a number of different topics, algebra, geometry, fractions, and so forth. Scrolling down in the Career Preparation Center, we've added the new NLN Next preparation test, which is for nursing school entrance exams. So we've added a number of those as well. We have recently deleted the old medical assistant certification exam, the RMA, and we've replaced it with an updated test. So these tests that are branded tests that people take for their vocations are not released old tests. What we do at Learning Express and EBSCO Learning is we have content matter experts who are taking a look at the test specifications for official exams, and we are modeling our practice tests and resources off of those test specifications. So when there is a change for a particular test, we make sure that our resources are up to date with the latest test specs. And this case demonstrates how we deleted the old registered medical assistant practice exam and added an updated test. So we can see that we try to keep everything fresh. You'll never see something that is out of date on our platform because we have those content matter experts taking a look at the test specifications. So a great resource to check into every once in a while. Once again, on the home page, once you've logged in, you'll be able to see what's new. A couple of other things I'll point out for you as administrators and librarians. Under the help link, you will find access to some helpful resources. Most of these are visible prior to login. So for everyone accessing this, they have access prior to login to our frequently asked questions, registration help, system requirements, even our video guides. So if you have students that you don't have time to walk through how to navigate the platform, there are some helpful video guides that they can view prior to creating an account. We also have our aggregated list of ebooks here. So if you want to see what ebooks are available for your users, these are DRM free resources, can be downloaded and saved to any external device or desktop. We have a number of over 200 ebooks available on our platform. They're all listed here on this ebook list. And within the list, you'll see a launch link, which will actually launch the ebook within the platform once you have logged in. This ebook list is only visible from a logged in state because once again, it is dependent on your subscription. So you'll see that you have the ability to download the PDF or download it as a CSV. So we can take a look here, scroll through the list of ebooks, and I'll just open one just to demonstrate how easy it is to access an ebook. Open the Algebra in 15 Minutes a Day ebook option. It gives you a quick definition, but we'll click Launch ebook, and we've updated this within the last year. The ebook used to automatically download prior to you being able to access it, but now it loads within our platform here in this frame with the ability to view the ebook in the platform. You see that this is a 320-page ebook. You can move through different pages within the ebook. You can zoom in, zoom out, and then there are several tools available to you. The most important tool is that little download link, so you can download this ebook to your desktop or external device for your future use. Once you access it, it will also be available in your My Center, but you can also, if you don't want to have access to it from a logged in state, you can download it to your desktop to have access to it offline. All right, so those are our ebooks. Let me I'll click finish later to exit out of this. And then it's going to save it to My Center. And actually, it's demonstrating that now in your My Center, we're here on the ebooks tile, we have that algebra in 15 minutes a day, and I've only viewed 4 out of 320 pages. I can resume by clicking the link here, or I can delete it from My Center with the trash can. If I took notes, there is a notes option within our resources. If I took notes for this book, then the notes would be available, but there are no notes, so you can see that the notes icon is grayed out. Let me go ahead and click back home. And let's get to some of those resources for homeschoolers and curricula support. Most of the resources we wanted to access today happen to be within the academic skills and test preparation bucket. All right. So we've got high school equivalency, college admissions, grades 4 to 8 educators, high school students, and college students. I'll stick with the first four here today. But little note, when you have an opportunity, please come back and take a look at all of the other resources we have. There are tons of resources for everyone who comes through your doors, whether they are in elementary school or adult ed. Anyone looking for vocations, we have a number of occupational licensing practice exams and licensure exams available for you. We have adult core skills, computer skills, lots of resources. Today, we only have time to dedicate our attention to these four learning centers. I'm going to start on college admissions test preparation. That tends to be one of the more popular learning centers for obvious reasons. Everyone at some point, if they're looking to go on to college, need to take the ACT, SAT, or advanced placement or PSAT. So we'll access one of these. I'm going to go into prepare for your ACT and just show you what our test functionality looks like. All of our tests are laid out similarly, but I'm going to use our ACT practice resource as an example for today. And if you, as we go through this, if you see something you'd like for me to demonstrate or to sample or to dive into, let me know in the chat. I have no problem poking around, taking a look at everything we have available here. All right. So we're on the ACT, prepare for your ACT section. Notice that we organize this section by tutorials, tests, eBooks, and we have a special section now for the digital ACT. So and we actually have a note here in green. Wherever you see green, there usually is an important note to um, note. So it says the ACT is going digital in September. So we are preparing to add resources in support of the digital ACT. So right now we have the Take a Digital ACT Practice Test, and we have them available in English, math, reading, science, and writing. So this is our first offering of digital resources, more to come. Let's see, we may have a question in the chat. So Scott says, I'm interested in STEAM resources. If you have time, I lead a STEAM lab at my library and would appreciate seeing some resources. Absolutely, I will get to that. So let me quickly show you a practice test. I will click into, since it's STEAM, we'll take a look at math. I'll click a digital ACT math practice. Now all of our tests are laid out the same. You'll be brought to an instructions page. Over to the right, you want to pay attention to the gray box, which gives you information about the total number of questions you'll be given and how much time you have to complete the test. And then you can choose up to 3 different test modes as an end user. So if the test is timed in the real world, we provide timers in our practice tests. So we also give you the opportunity to choose your test mode. There's a simulation mode where that timer is enforced. The practice mode has a timer, but there's no penalty if you don't complete the test in the time allotted. And then the learner mode, that doesn't have a timer, and you can actually see the answers to all of the questions as you interact with this mode. The practice mode is the default, so I'm just going to click Start Test to load this exam in practice mode. So we're taking a look at ACT Math. The title is in the upper left corner. We see the timer ticking down in the the green bar. We can take notes on the notepad above that. If we don't have time to complete this 15-minute exam in one sitting, we could click the Finish Later button. It will freeze the timer and save our work in progress. And when we're ready to score this exam, we'll hit the Score My Test button. I'm going to quickly answer a few questions randomly. I don't know the answers to these questions, so I'm just going to answer maybe 10 and hopefully get at least one correct. I just want to demonstrate how quickly the test is scored. All right, so I'm going to score this. Now, it does give me a warning because I haven't completed the exam, but I'll go ahead and click score just to get to the score report. So I earned 5 points, so it's instantly scored. This is a scaled exam, so to the right of that score, it will explain the scoring. But more important than my score, since this is just practice, is the score breakdown. So remember when I mentioned that we had content matter experts taking a look at the test specifications? Well, because we know the test specifications, we're able to break our tests down by the main topics and subtopics a user would be tested on in the real world. So the score breakdown is really important for self-paced test preparation because it identifies what the user's strengths and weaknesses are when it comes to the main topics and subtopics for, in this case, ACT math. So we can see there are several main topics like preparing for higher math with some subtopics like geometry or statistics. We can see our performance, how many we answered correctly and incorrectly, and our score. So this really lets the user know anywhere there is a weakness is where they may want to focus their studies to improve their overall score on the real exam. One thing I mentioned about saving work in progress, I forgot to mention that this site is responsively designed for use on all of your mobile devices. It will perform in the same manner whether you're on a desktop or a mobile device. So this does go with you. If you start the test in the computer lab at a workstation, you can resume the exam on your tablet or phone at any time. So the score breakdown is important. More important, information here includes the answers, the View Answers link. Clicking that will show you your performance at a glance. Green indicates that I answered it correctly with that green check mark. X, of course, shows that I answered it incorrectly. But these are all hyperlinks. If I click anywhere here, it will actually take me back into the exam, which since I've scored it, will now provide answer explanations for every question. So this is also very important for self-paced test prep because it allows users to come back into an exam to review the answer explanations for further understanding for especially things that they were not sure of the proper answer. So here for question 1, I chose choice B. It lets me know that that is incorrect. It tells me that A is the correct choice, and it also tells me why choice B is incorrect and why choice A is correct. So I can review the answer explanations for further understanding. It also tells me what topic and subtopic I was tested on. For questions that I answered correctly, let's move into the next one. I think it was, there we go. Question 8, I answered correctly, and it still provides the answer explanation. So if I guessed, I might want to review that answer explanation for clarity as well. So all helpful. I'm going to click back to the score report and scroll down past the score breakdown. Actually, because we just launched this digital ACT test, we don't have any recommendations. With older exams, we provide links to related resources right from this score report, which is an easy way for students to navigate to resources to help them within this ACT math resource. So I'm going to exit out here. I'll click back home. And maybe we can focus on some STEAM resources for you. So that was our test functionality. As I mentioned, all of our tests operate in the same way. Let's scroll down now. I've taken a sampled college admissions. Let's go into the High School Student Center. I imagine, Scott, that because you are interested in because you have a STEAM lab, I'm assuming that you primarily work with high school students. If I am incorrect, please let me know. But I was going to go here and take a look at some of those science, technology, engineering, um, and math. And I forget what the A represents. Oh, elementary to middle school. Okay, so we can do that. So let's go to grades 4 to 8 educator resources. Now, I will say that we have plenty. Oh, Art, thank you. We have plenty of more resources for high school students than grades 4 to 8 educated resources, but and also elementary really is limited to grades 4 and 5. So we'll start with middle school because we have more subject areas. I'll actually just open the elementary. Elementary is pretty much limited to mathematics skills improvement and ELA. And you can see the topics here for elementary. If we click into middle school, that grows to not just mathematics and ELA, but also social studies and high school entrance exams preparation. So let's take a look at the math. Um, we can access a tutorial, a micro lesson, eBooks. I've already shown you eBooks. I've already shown you practice tests. So let's take a look at maybe videos and micro lessons may be helpful as supplemental resources for students, homeschool students, as well as supporting educators with their existing curriculum. So we have different resource types. I've shown you an ebook. I've shown you a test. Let's take a look at micro lessons and videos. And so we learned a few years ago, or we accepted a few years ago, that our students these days really don't have time for uh, extended periods of time studying in depth online, and that they like to get in and get out with quick tutorials that teach them a skill, a very specific or narrowly defined skill, in and out. To supplement what they're already learning in the classroom. So, our micro lessons do just that. Uh, we see that within the middle school math, we have 28 micro lessons and 39 videos. Let me start with the micro lessons. So I'm going to deselect the videos just to get a list of micro lessons available for mathematics skills improvement. I'm going to maybe launch this first one within expressions and equations, the order of operations. We'll go ahead and launch this micro lesson. So whenever you see micro lesson, know that it is intended to be taken in 10 minutes, around 10 minutes. So it's a quick tutorial of content. Let me just refresh. Looks like I'm having an issue here. We'll deselect that again and we'll launch our micro lessons. There we go.
Welcome to this short lesson on performing operations in the correct order using the PEMDAS method. Click Next to dive in.
Okay, so what you will also learn is that many of our micro lessons are equipped with audio and video and interactivity. The main video will play in the main center of the screen. Over to the left, you'll see the outline for this micro lesson that's supposed to be taken in about 10 minutes. You can move sequentially through the micro lesson with the next button in the upper left corner, or you can just jump around. If you're interested only in practicing simplifying an expression, you can jump right into that. But we'll continue on. The audio controls are available right below the video screen there playing. I'm going to jump over the objectives. This is what you'll
Once you
learn.
complete
I'll just pause them, and then we'll move into a
in
lesson.
math, the word operations refers to actions such as adding. Use the acronym PEMDAS to help you remember the order of operations. Let's see how to simplify and evaluate an expression using PEMDAS. Play the video for an in-depth explanation. Let's see how to order and P-3 to evaluate. So next, let's evaluate the.
All right, so I'm just flipping through. And then after you have listened to the instruction, there is practice.
Use the PEMDAS order of operations.
So I'll just pause her and I'll just check my answers. So there is an opportunity to practice what you've learned within this micro lesson, and similar to our test functionality, it will provide the answer explanation. I chose B, correct choice is A. I'll review why I made the incorrect choice and how to arrive at the correct answer. So these are our micro lessons, short, sweet, in and out, great compliments to your curriculum. So let me click finish later, and I'll click save. I also have the opportunity to close without saving. If I click that, then it will wipe my activity and it will not show up in my center. But I'm going to save this for to resume it later. So you can see now on the My Center, I have completed 6 out of 10 pages for that micro lesson. I can resume it or I can delete it. All right, so let's go back. I do want to, so I've shown you a number of math resources, and since you're interested in STEAM, let's take a look at some science. We don't have anything for the arts, but we do have science, technology, and math. Uh, there are no science resources for middle school, just the social studies, high school, and ELA. Um, so to demonstrate some science resources, I will go into the High School Students Learning Center and click on science. And notice that we also have technology as well. So math, science, and technology are covered. We'll take a look at our science skills improvement for high school students. And here we have resources for biology, chemistry, and earth science. And you can see the different resource types. For earth science, we only have an ebook available, but for biology and chemistry, we have a combination of ebooks, videos, games, flashcards. Um, so let's take a look at videos. I will take a look at a biology video. And we recognize that many students like to learn in different ways. So in addition to providing tutorials and micro lessons and practice tests, we also mix it up with some flashcards and some video content to aid that learning in, in a different way. So let's take a look at any one of these videos. I will take a look at um, the origin of life scientific evidence. We'll click launch. And we partnered with a number of uh, video providers, in this case, Bozeman Science, to provide this video. And I'll go ahead and click play.
Hi, it's Mr. Anderson, and welcome to Biology Essentials video number 11. This is on the origin of life and what science can tell us about the history of life on our planet. This is also the last video in this first unit, which is on evolution. When Darwin was starting to form, he was trying to figure out, and then he just used, and so the whole thing was molten and light like on our planet. They added energy in the form of lightning, and then they
Okay, so this is a 14-minute video covering the topic, the origin of life, scientific evidence. So just another example of content that we like to provide on our platform to supplement curricula and to aid further understanding for topics that you may be studying as a homeschooler. All right, so we're going to go ahead and click back home. And just to demonstrate the variety, I'm going to try to access something else within this platform here. So we've touched on grades 4 to 8, high school students, college admissions. I'm going to get to high school equivalency next. Let's take a look at, actually, no, I'm going to hold that off for a while because that's a special area that I wanted to spend some time on. Demonstrating tutorials. Let me go back into the high school section here, and let's take a look at technology skills and see if we have some practice on technical writing, for instance, computing and information technology, information systems, management information systems. Let's take a look at technical writing. I actually haven't dived into this area here. So we have technical writing for information design, purpose, content, and organizational patterns. So some really cool topics here. Let's take a look at maybe technical writing theory and practice review number 1. We'll click start test. Actually, this is a test, so maybe I won't dive into that because I've already shown you test functionality. So let's go back to the home page. What I do want to show you is a tutorial. So let's go back into let's see if we have any tutorials for middle school. We'll go back into that. So for tutorials, we do have a whole tutorial section here for math. I'll go back into that and we'll go back to our topic. We've got math tutorials for grade 6 math, grade 7 math, grade 8 math, and then we have a comprehensive middle school math tutorial. So our tutorials are different from our micro lessons in that they are much deeper content resources. These are like reference resources that you can return to time and time again to brush up on specific content. So let's take a look at, we'll do the middle school math. I'll click start tutorial. And notice there was one for parents as well, which is really cool. Our tutorials look like our micro lessons, but they are definitely not something you can take in 10 minutes or less. These tutorials, in this case, middle school math, has 7 or 8 units covering all math topics. Let's say as a student, you really want to focus on algebra and patterns. So you can come down to Unit 7, Algebra and Patterns, click the plus sign to expose the 3 lessons contained within algebra and patterns. You can take lesson 1 on algebraic expressions. We'll open up that one and show all of the topics. All right, so we can click in either navigating sequentially or just click around. So maybe I'm interested in learning about algebraic terms. I'll go to algebraic terms, review what this means, practice answering, checking my answer. But the biggest takeaway here is that these are reference resources. You can see how this really opens up to expose sometimes hundreds of pages of content. for students to refer to. So I'm just jumped into lesson 2, maybe finding part of a whole. I'm interested in learning this. I can bookmark this topic, which will appear in my center later, so I know to come back to this page if this is something that I really need to focus on. We also sometimes embed tips and advice along the way. I'll just answer this once again, checking my answer as I would. All right, I can take notes. There's a notepad where I can take a new note, and I can do algebraic expressions, and then I can, oops, I just saved that, I believe. So oh, it didn't save. So let's take notes. And then we'll just do, just take a note and we'll click save. So I didn't save it last time. So now we have it saved. We've got our note with our timestamp, and we'll go ahead and close this. And this will be accessible on the My Center. So lots of things you can do within the tutorials to test and what have you. Let me go ahead and click Finish Later to exit out. We'll click back home. And I'll go back. I'm going to toggle, let's see if there's anything in college. College admissions, wait, I think we'll stick with between high school students and middle and elementary. Let me see what we have available for elementary. If there is yeah, we don't have very much. Most of these are practice tests, but we do have a few videos and micro lessons available for elementary students, but most of it's practice tests for fundamental math and English topics. Maybe what I can do here, since we are talking elementary, is taking a look at maybe informational reading practice. So we have resources for grades 4 and 5. I'll take a look at informational reading practice for grade 4. This is a test, so we'll just take a look at some of the content available. We'll review this. This is a 75-minute timed exam, 15 questions. This one does not have the simulation mode, just practice and learner. So we'll click Start to load that, and we'll review the passage and then answer the questions as we go. We'll click Score. Haven't finished it, but I'll proceed and score. And I earned, in this case, a 7%. So some are percentage scores, others are on scaled exams. And once again, the score breakdown is so important because it shows you what your strengths and weaknesses are. We can click the View Answers link, and I answered one correctly and one incorrectly. I can once again dive into that to learn more. So question 1, I answered correctly. Question 2, I answered incorrectly. I can go back to my scoreboard. And below the score breakdown, since this is one of our older exams, we do have some recommended resources. This is not an exhaustive list. This is just a sampling of resources that are related. So you'll see sometimes that your recommendations are flanked with icons. And because I performed poorly, the recommended resources here, it's telling me that I need to develop my skills. So please take these resources to build my skills. I can take another test, and I can also take the Reading in 15 Minutes a Day ebook. All right, so some recommendations are helpful, but we'll go ahead and click back home. And maybe I'll sample a flashcard. Let me just revisit. I've shown you a few tests, tutorial, micro lesson, ebook, video. I think the last thing to show you would be a flashcard. So I know that we have flashcards for high school and flashcards for different topics. We do have science. I think we might have some science flashcards. Yes, we do. We have, and we have games as well. Let me take a look at the biology flashcards. So this is a fun way to reinforce concepts taught in biology in this case. So let's take a look at the biology concepts review flashcard deck number 1. I'll click Open Flashcards. And this tries to mimic what our traditional flashcards look like, the index cards. So we present you with a flashcard. And this one is vocabulary review, so we can see trophic level. If I want to practice the definition in my head, I might want to say it out loud to see the answer. I'd flip the flashcard with the icon in the lower center of the page, and then it provides definition, a very thorough definition. If I thought this was a difficult flashcard, I can tag it difficult or easy. I'll click that as difficult. Notice that this particular flashcard is a deck of 50. We have flashcard settings up here. If I click the settings, and sometimes this is not as helpful. Sometimes if it's a topic with several subtopics, you can actually pick which subtopics you want to review in the flashcard deck, but these are all just biology terms, so it's all in the same category here. But what I can do is shuffle the deck. I can choose to show the front first, which is traditional question and then answer. I can reverse that and kind of play the Jeopardy with being provided with the answer and then giving the question, or I can show both question and answer at the same time. And then you can see how, as I tabulate each flashcard, difficult or easy, we can take a look at the difficulty sort. Maybe once I'm done reviewing all flashcards, I can click through the difficult ones until I master them. So another helpful tool, fun way to learn. Let me exit out of this. We'll click back home. We'll click save. And I think the last thing is games. So we'll stick with our Academic Skills and Test Preparation Center. And I did see a few games and high school students. Let's see if we have any games for, I think we had games in science and technology and math. So let's take a look. Yeah, there are some games for chemistry. So let's take a look at chemistry games. I haven't actually interacted with this, but there's a periodic table game. So we'll go ahead and launch this game that says explore how elements are organized in the periodic table. We'll launch this game. There will always be instructions that you can refer to in the upper right corner. It also starts with a list of instructions. We'll click start. Usually shouldn't take this long to load. There we go. So it has loaded. All right, so question 1, identify the second metalloid element. I have no idea. You can select the element or use the hint button. We'll use the hint button. So we can review the hint. I'll just choose something. I know I'm not right, but we can then either try again to select the correct answer or show the answer. And so now I'm going to learn about the silicon answer. It also sometimes provides some important information. Did you know silicon is the second most abundant element in the Earth's crust? Information that I'd love to know. So we'll go ahead and click OK and move on to the next question. So just another way of interacting with content as you learn it. In this case, one of our games. Our games definitely vary from subject matter to subject matter, but a great way to supplement the curriculum, making it fun and interactive. A great way to keep someone busy, whether they are ahead of the curve when it comes to content in a classroom, needing something to keep their mind going. These are great resources, self-paced. Students can easily navigate our platform to interact with them. All right, so I'm going to click exit to exit out of this. Let's see, do we have any questions or comments? Let me know how we're feeling about this content. Am I moving too quickly? Is there anything you'd like for me to spend more time on? Within the last few minutes, I was going to spend on high school equivalency since it's kind of, okay, great, Scott. Since it's kind of self-contained, I do want to talk about this. It's one of our, once again, more popular learning centers. High school equivalency has a lot of resources for students who are looking to earn their high school equivalency credentials. So we have preparation for the GED in English and in Spanish, and we also have preparation for the high set. So depending on what state you are in, some states accept the GED, some states accept the high set, and some states accept both. I'm going to start with Are You Ready, though, the first in this list on the High School Equivalency Center, because we know that the high school equivalency exam is a difficult exam to pass because you basically need high school level or exit level content knowledge in order to do well on it. So maybe what you would want to do before you start preparing for the GED or the high set would be to take a diagnostic. And so we have an Are You Ready diagnostic section here where you can test yourself. And it's based on the TABE, which is a test for adult basic education. Um, and we have the skills check and an ebook. But let's quickly see what's accepted in your state. In this green bar at the top, it does provide an outline of how you can utilize the resources within the High School Equivalency Center. So it's about this center. And you can see here what is required in your state. Looks like you guys accept the GED only, but you can see throughout the country what the layout is. In addition to letting you know what's accepted in your state, we do a quick overview of how you can use this entire center to prepare. Quickly, 3 steps, starting with taking that skills check, that TABE, then based on your performance, building your basic skills in deficient areas. And then last, when you've completed those skill builder resources, then you can start preparing with all of our GED resources. So this is a helpful page here for guidance. Let's go back to high school equivalency. So we've got that skills check for the TABE based on your performance here, and it will provide you with that score report identifying your strengths and weaknesses. It will actually inform you what skill builders you should be taking. And we have skill builders in reading, writing, grammar, vocabulary and spelling, and math, levels 1, 2, and 3. And the TABE test will identify what level you are. Once you master all levels, then you are ready to prepare for the GED. And because you can take the GED in English and in Spanish, we offer both. So we can take a look at the resources here. We have tutorials, eBooks and flashcards, practice tests, study interactives for all of the subjects covered on the GED, also delivered in full Spanish for those who are interested. Right? So, great resources to promote. There's a lot going on here. I just scratched the surface with playing around, clicking around in the 4 main learning centers that pertain to our elementary through high school resources. I do want to point out that you also have access to popular software skills. So students who are starting to utilize Microsoft Office, we have some great tutorials that help them. So if they want to learn how to master Microsoft Excel or Office 365 or PowerPoint, Outlook, Word, we've got a tutorial. I'll click into Microsoft Excel. These are passive tutorials. These are videos that you'll watch and then apply what you learn to your own software. They vary. This particular one, What's New in Excel, is almost 3 hours long, but you don't have to watch the entire video. You can actually click around. The 3-hour long video is made up of, and if you click the table of contents, you can see micro videos that are maybe 2 to 3 minutes, 5 minutes long that add up to that 3-hour long video. So you don't have to watch it from the beginning through the end. You can use this as a reference. So if you are needing to learn how to utilize functions, you can click into Using Functions chapter. If you want to learn how to calculate with let, you can click right in there and that will load that video.
As we gear up for greatness and learn a new function in What's New in Excel 2021, I'm excited to share with you. I'm Sherry Tingle, your instructor. Either I'm variable. Whatever is in simple calculation, x plus 1. So 7 plus 1 is 8. The answer.
Okay, so I won't continue on, but you get the gist. You're listening to Sherry demonstrate the features and functionality of calculating with let in this example. So very detailed tutorials. This one is actually 10 minutes long. You can just click around here using the outline or the table of contents at the top. All right, so let me go to the My Center page, summarizing everything we've accessed today. So now that I have accessed a bunch of things on my center, you can see how they're all saved here. All of the tests we accessed today, the tutorial, the micro lesson, the ebook, the videos. I didn't download any articles, and we do have this flashcard. So when you log in as a returning user, you can always resume something or revisit something that you've previously accessed. All right, so that's that for end users. The last thing I want to talk to you about before we wrap it up today is what you can do in terms of increasing the usage or the visibility and then eventually the usage of this platform at your library and in your community. We have access to a number of promotional materials and they are available in product. So anywhere on this website, if you scroll to the very bottom, of the page, you'll see a gray footer here. In that gray footer, you can click administrators and librarians. Clicking that will take you to our administrator and librarians page with several jump points for information. I'm going to click to help guides in a moment, but I just wanted to point out that there's quick access to a quick start guide, which is a resource you can provide to any student or patron who needs information about how to navigate this platform. And then if you want to make our resources discoverable in your catalog, we do have Mark Records. There is a link here to Mark Records instruction and an access key you'll need to uh, get that from your administrator in order to pull those Mark Records. But let's go back up to, and also as we scroll down, that ebook list is also available here. So remember the ebook list, that aggregate of ebooks on the platform is available here and in the help drop down under list of ebooks. So let's go ahead and click Help Guides. That's going to actually pop you into our dedicated page on EBSCO Connect for all things Learning Express. So here you will have access to all articles, videos, frequently asked questions, tutorials that relate to Learning Express resources. We have a lot. So you subscribe to Learning Express Library. There are other resources here. There's a computer skills you also subscribe to. But let's click to Learning Express Library to filter that full list down to all Learning Express Library resources. So here you have access to our new content update, which I showed you earlier in product. We have an article that talks about the homepage refresh, but more importantly, that I wanted to point out to you today was the promotion kit. So our marketing department has done a fabulous job of providing several resources to help you increase the visibility of this platform. We have access to online training. I do online training for our Learning Express platform, several public sessions available every month. So if you want to get a refresher or you want to recommend this to a colleague, send them to our training opportunities on EBSCO Academy. We also have user guides. We have instructions for Mark Records here or creating those direct links to Learning Express centers. And we have a whole complement of promotional materials. We have an entire social media kit, screensavers. We have promotional text, so you don't have to do your own writing. We have content that you can just pull off of our website and use in your own communications. We also have printable materials in the form of bookmarks and shelf talkers and handouts and posters, some in Spanish, some in English. And these could all be customized with your library logo. So help is never too far. I'll show you once again. If you are on our platform anywhere, let's say you're on the home page, just scroll to the very bottom and click administrators and librarians to get to those resources. All right. So that's all I have. Any questions before we wrap up this session? Okay, so I want to be respectful of your time. We are at time, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you. I see that you're okay. Yes, the promotion kit is wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for your comments and for your time and attention. And thank you for partnering with us to provide these resources to your homeschoolers and students. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and look out for the recording. Thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye now.